voice is kind of similar, obviously, in some ways to Maddie. Obviously they are different, but Mads is like more inaudible whispering maybe, but Grace V, she does a lot of like similar things, which is just kind of, it's nice to have like both, and Grace V posts quite regularly, so that's nice. I also I would say in the past like year, in the past year I've started listening to some new people, so I like to watch Edda Fox ASMR. I love her ASMR, like I get a crazy amount of tingles from her ASMR, especially when she has long nails and stuff. Love that. And also Frivolous Fox. It's funny, they're both Fox, I've only just realised that. Frivolous Fox ASMR. I actually don't know what her name actually is, I probably should know that. But I love her videos, especially like when she sings lullabies, because she's got a beautiful singing voice. And oh my god, I love her videos, are so like beautifully aesthetically pleasing. Like the background is just so like dark and like purple, and like I don't know, she does amazing videos. So I've loved her for about a year. I also like Mama Mick. I believe she's Australian and Swedish, I think, but she's Australian, I think. She has an Aussie accent. And I love her videos as well. So I have quite a few, like there's definitely more. In fact, 99%, I would say, 90% of my YouTube subscriptions are just ASMRtists. So every time it's just ASMR on my subscriptions, because I don't really watch many other people for other things. But anyway, they're my favourite ASMRtists, and yeah, that's why I like ASMR. Any advice for getting a first tattoo? I would honestly say don't overthink it. I know that might actually sound like bad advice, but when I got my first tattoo, I knew I wanted a tattoo. I was certain on my idea, maybe like sit with it for like 3 to 6 months, and if you still want that same idea after 6 months, I would book it in. But honestly, try not to overthink it. Like, I find that so many people, especially for their first tattoo, they really overthink it. And then it becomes like this thing where they're like so scared to get their first tattoo done that they just don't do it. I can promise you now, my first tattoo, I like it, don't get me wrong, it's on my ankle. I think I had it in my this tattoo tour that I did. It's like a snake with some flowers around it. It's a nice tattoo, but it's definitely not my favourite tattoo. And I think if you are the sort of person who knows that you want like quite a lot of tattoos or quite a few tattoos, you're unlikely to love your first one as much as your others. But like, don't overthink the idea. If you're someone who struggles with pain and that's why you're anxious, maybe speak to your tattoo artist about it. In my experience, tattoo artists are so kind and good with like, especially you getting your first tattoo, they want to make you feel as comfortable as possible. So definitely tell your tattoo artist if you're nervous. But honestly, I love getting tattooed. I don't find getting tattooed painful at all, really. And like you guys would have seen, I don't have like loads and loads of tattoos, but I am like, I would say like kind of, I'm bordering on moderately tattooed, because I've got like a half sleeve. On here I've got like a couple of arm tattoos, I've got a couple of leg tattoos. So yeah, like I would just say like speak to your tattoo artist, but honestly, in my experience at least, the pain is not as bad as you think, and I actually find it quite relaxing, but obviously everyone's different. But yeah, don't overthink it. Maybe give it 6 months and speak to your tattoo artist if you're really nervous about the actual experience, because the chances are they'll be really nice, especially if it's your first tattoo. So yeah, that's my advice. The next question is, what type of videos do I enjoy filming the most? Yeah, I think that my favourite videos to film are probably my inaudible whispering ones, or like my whisper rambles, because as you guys know, if you've watched any videos of mine before, whisper rambling is just, well, rambling in general is definitely GCSEs, as part of my GCSEs, it was either media studies or Spanish. I